Yoshie Shiratori. Yoshie Shiratori was a legendary Japanese escape artist, famously known as the prison break magician. His incredible escapes from some of Japan's most secure prisons amazed the nation. His first escape came in 1936 at Aomori Prison, where he picked his cell lock with a hidden wire. Though quickly recaptured, he was transferred to Akita Prison. There, he escaped again by dislocating his shoulders and squeezing through the food slot. Authorities then sent him to the icy, high-security Abashiri Prison in Hokkaido. Shiratori patiently used the freezing temperatures to weaken the metal bars on his window, slowly bending them until he could break free. His most daring escape happened in 1944 at Sapporo Prison. Noticing guards didn't cuff him during bath time, he used a bucket handle to unscrew a ceiling hatch and vanished once more. His unbelievable story became the basis for the novel Higoku, Prison Break, sealing his legacy as Japan's greatest escape artist. The Texas 7. In December 2000, 7 inmates from Texas carried out one of the most daring prison escapes in American history. Known as the Texas 7, the group overpowered prison staff and guards, securing them inside an electrical room. They then used fake identities and posed as supervisors to bypass several headcounts, ultimately gaining access to a pickup truck parked near the prison gate. After successfully making it outside, they drove off, triggering a large-scale manhunt across multiple states. Their escape came to an end after a feature on America's Most Wanted helped authorities track them down. Although they tried to arrange a televised surrender, they were eventually captured and taken back into custody. Colditz Castle. Colditz Castle, situated in Germany, was one of the most secure prisoner-of-war camps during World War II. Designated as Auflage 4C, it was specifically reserved for Allied officers considered especially dangerous or prone to escape. Many of its inmates were soldiers who had repeatedly attempted to flee from other camps, giving Colditz a reputation as an escape-proof facility. One of the most remarkable escape plans involved the secret construction of a glider. In 1944, British officers Bill Goldfinch and Jack Best began building the glider using materials like bed slats, pilfered electrical wiring, and various scavenged items. They worked in secrecy in the castle's attic, intending to launch the glider from the rooftop. Although the war concluded before the escape could be carried out, the glider, nicknamed the Colditz Cock, remains a powerful symbol of prisoner ingenuity and determination. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. El Chapo Guzman, one of the world's most feared drug lords, shocked everyone with 2 daring escapes from maximum security prisons. In 2001, he fled Mexico's Puente Grande prison by hiding in a laundry cart, thanks to a bribed guard. Once outside, he vanished in a waiting vehicle. But his most unbelievable escape came in 2015 from Altiplano Federal Prison. His cartel built a mile-long tunnel leading from under his shower cell to a house outside the prison. It had lights, ventilation, and even a rail track. Security cameras captured his last moments before he disappeared. Henri Charrière. Papillon. Henri Charrière, known as Papillon, was convicted of a murder he always claimed he didn't commit and sent to the brutal French penal colony in French Guiana. From the start, he was determined to escape. His first major attempt involved fleeing by boat with a few inmates. They reached Trinidad and Curaçao, but were later caught in Colombia. Despite harsh punishments, including solitary confinement, Charrière never gave up. On Devil's Island, he planned a daring final escape with fellow inmate Sylvain. Using coconut sacks as floats, they leapt into the sea. Sylvain tragically died in quicksand, but Charrière made it to Venezuela, where he was granted citizenship. In 1969, he published Papillon, a best-selling memoir of survival and escape. Though some details are disputed, his story remains a symbol of defiance and resilience. Stalag Luft 3, The Great Escape. During World War II, a daring escape was attempted by a group of Allied prisoners of war, including airmen from Britain, the United States, Canada, Australia, and France, from the notorious Nazi prison camp, Stalag Luft 3. This camp, located deep within German territory, was fortified with numerous security precautions. Microphones were buried underground to detect any signs of digging, and the prisoner huts were constructed on stilts to expose any tunnel activity below. Undeterred, the prisoners began work on 3 secret escape tunnels, which they codenamed Tom, Dick, and Harry. Using only basic tools like spoons, metal utensils, and discarded milk cans, they dug more than 30 feet underground to avoid detection. To conceal the soil they removed, the men devised a clever system, hiding sand in their socks and scattering it gradually around the campgrounds. Then, on the night of March 24, 1944, 76 men slipped into one of the tunnels and began their escape. Unfortunately, the breakout was soon discovered by the guards. Only 3 prisoners managed to make it to freedom. The rest were recaptured. In a brutal response, Adolf Hitler ordered the execution of 50 of the escapees, an act that was a blatant violation of the Geneva Convention. Frank Abagnale Jr. In the early 1970s, Frank Abagnale Jr. was held at the Federal Detention Center in Atlanta after being caught for his infamous frauds. But due to a major oversight, the U.S. Marshal never filed his commitment papers. Prison staff mistook him for a visiting inspector. Seizing the moment, Abagnale teamed up with a friend outside who created fake business cards identifying him as a prison inspector and undercover FBI agent. Playing the role convincingly, he told guards he needed to meet an FBI contact outside. Amazingly, they believed him and let him walk out of the prison. It was yet another brilliant escape in a life built on deception. Richard Lee Mcnair. Richard Lee Mcnair was an intelligent man whose criminal choices led to tragedy when a botched robbery resulted in 1 man dead and another seriously wounded. After his arrest, Mcnair made his first escape attempt in 1992 by crawling through a ventilation pipe. He was recaptured a year later, but it was his 2006 escape that made headlines. Assigned to repair mailbags in prison, Mcnair crafted a clever plan. He hid inside one of the bags, outfitted with a breathing tube. The bag was shipped to a warehouse outside the prison. Once there, Mcnair waited until staff left for lunch, then climbed out and disappeared. His freedom was short-lived. While jogging near train tracks, he was stopped by a police officer. Despite having no ID, Mcnair remained calm and convincing. Though the officer had been warned about a recent prison escapee, Mcnair's cool demeanor led him to believe this wasn't the guy, and he let Mcnair go. Pascal Payet, a notorious French criminal, became infamous for his Hollywood-style prison escapes. While serving a 30-year sentence for a violent robbery, he made headlines in 2001 when accomplices hijacked a helicopter, landed it on the prison roof, and flew him to freedom. In 2003, he pulled off a similar stunt, this time helping 3 fellow inmates escape using another hijacked helicopter. To stop future attempts, authorities began rotating him between prisons frequently. Yet in 2007, on Bastille Day, Payet's team struck again. They seized another helicopter, landed it on the prison roof, and broke him out in under 5 minutes. Though he was eventually recaptured, Pascal Payet is remembered as the mastermind behind the most daring helicopter prison escapes in history. John Dillinger. The infamous Depression-era gangster John Dillinger gained widespread notoriety for his daring prison escapes, with one of the most audacious taking place in 1934. After his capture, Dillinger was placed in a jail believed to be completely escape-proof. Refusing to be contained, he ingeniously carved a gun from a piece of wood and painted it black to resemble a real firearm. Using this convincing fake, he pulled off a bold escape, threatening guards, taking several hostage, and commandeering the sheriff's car to flee. Though his freedom was short-lived, the legendary escape with the wooden gun secured Dillinger's place in outlaw history. Clarence and John Anglin and Frank Morris. Imprisoned in the infamous Alcatraz, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers pulled off what many thought was impossible. In 1962, after months of secret work, they used spoons and saw blades to widen the air vents in their cells. They also crafted a makeshift raft from stolen raincoats and made lifelike dummy heads to fool guards during bed checks. On the night of June 11th, they escaped through the vents, crawled through utility tunnels, and launched their raft into the cold waters of San Francisco Bay. Despite a massive search, their bodies were never found, leaving their escape one of history's greatest mysteries.